Instructions for the National New Black Panther Party Chat. This is established and approved by the National Central Committee. The purpose of this messaging system is to connect the recruits and the members to the national and regional process. Number 1, the National New Black Panther Party Chat Room is for the NBPP Affairs and National Central Committee regulations only. Number 2, all posts must pertain to Pantherism and New Black Panther Party affairs. There should be no arguing at any time. There should be no excessive texting. There should be no sidebar conversations. Keep conversations limited to the New Black Panther Party affairs only. Number 3, any suspected violations or misconduct shall be reported to the National Central Committee, the Chief of Staff, and the Minister of Justice, and your regional representatives. Number 4, all general orders and 5 duties are in effect. 5, any misconduct will be handled by the National Central Committee officials and your specific regional representatives, and it will go through the process of court and appeals. All New Black Panther Party ground rules are in effect. Number 6, the moderator for this chat is the Central Regional Minister of Justice. Number 7, your monthly dues should be sent to the National Cash App, NBPP dues. Our national email is nbppcentralcommittee2024@gmail.com. Number 8, any further questions and concerns will be answered by the national and regional officials unless stated otherwise. Peace and Black Power.
You are listening to The Eye of the Panther. When you request, and the ancestors answer.
You say you don't know nothing about it? Who got that picture? Show me that picture. You said you're tired of serving niggas in this neighborhood. It was told to me that you said it. That's not him? Show him the picture. Show him the picture. So who was that on that picture?
He's not here now.
He's not here?
No.
So when he gonna be back here?
He say he about to check. He about to check when he about to be. That ain't him.
I don't know.
All right, so understand this. Listen. This is a predominantly black community. I've been eating here since I was a kid. We asking for our respect. If y'all gonna be in this neighborhood, y'all gonna service us, be respectful. Don't call us out our name. Don't call no black women out their name, okay? That's wrong. Don't do that.
You're doing a wrong person, bro.
You said what?
You're doing a wrong person.
You in charge, you can deliver the message. I just want you to have the understanding too if y'all gonna be around here.
I'm cool with everybody.
You cool with everybody?
I'm cool with everybody. I do my job.
Okay.
So, I'm doing my job. And
Just pass the message.
Pass the message on to us if you're here right now. Because we're gonna come back tomorrow. If we do not get an apology, we're gonna try to get this place shut down. If we do not get an apology for that woman he called out her name, we will have this place shut down. This is just a warning.
I don't know. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a problem with nobody.
Okay?
And just pass the message along.
Pass the message.
Because we're gonna come up here tomorrow to talk to the manager
Can you talk to me?
and all that. Because we gonna come tomorrow. We coming. Just pass that message along. And nobody calling nobody niggas or none of that over here, especially if you ain't black.
The People's School for Positive Education. Our story. Upon visiting Ghana and seeing a number of children selling goods on the street during school hours, founder Mzaza, also known as Janet Jones Preston, soon found out why so many of the families could not afford to pay their young ones' education tuition. And therefore, they could not enroll them in school. Feeling compelled to do something, Mzaza decided to create a school for the families who needed it most. After refinancing the loan on her home in 2004 and enlisting the help of her son, Imole, Mosi, Mzaza purchased the land that is now the People's School for Education. Under the support of Mzaza, private supporters, and the operational leadership of Oye, the school has blossomed from having a modest 3 classrooms and grades to an educational center holding 260 students with hopes to expand. This is the People's School for Positive Education in Ghana.
You are listening to The Eye of the Panther. When you request, and the ancestors answer.
Black August salutes George Jackson, a revolutionary black general. George the General Jackson was born on September 23rd of 1941 on the west side of Chicago. George was an extraordinary wordsmith who rose to international prominence and recognition for his outspoken critique of the poor quality of life imposed upon all prisoners. He exposed and heightened the contradictions of the prison industrial police complex. George Jackson, as well as many of his fellow prisoners, were victims of extended sentences which exceeded the proper punishments for the crime. Irregardless, George organized. He organized the black prisoners into what now is known as the Black Liberation Army, closely affiliated with the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. In fact, it was the equivalent of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense within the prison system. They taught against homosexuality. They taught against unwarranted violence. They taught against recidivism, taught against drugs, and essentially how to make themselves into better men, better fathers, and productive members of the society in which they live. He taught them law and how this law is used and applied within a prison setting. Now, George Jackson was initially imprisoned for stealing $70 from a gas station at 18 years old. He was sentenced to 1 year to life in prison for this crime. They said his lawyer had advised him to plead guilty in exchange for a lighter sentence, but he was instead given an indeterminate sentence of 1 year to life. Now, we know that revolutionary black generals are far, few, and in between. So when we see one, we see the many caterpillars which blossom into butterflies or black revolutionaries. In 1971, he was scratched and snatched from us in an attempt to give himself what the California court system could not give him: freedom and justice. The new Black Panther Party is dedicated to ending the school-to-prison pipeline that feeds the recidivism which funds the prison industrial police complex of today. Remember, education, not incarceration. Long live the spirit of George Jackson, the Black Liberation Army, the Black Guerrilla Family, Black Power.
The open house. This is a guided tour through the many rooms of the House of Bastet. There are 5 community rooms in the House of Bastet. Each of these rooms represents one of the 5 duties from the sole purpose of the Panther. The front room. This room is dedicated to our Black Power revolutionary theologian, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. This teaches us to embody the principle to be spiritually, culturally, and politically conscious. Whether he was the Minister of Defense, West Coast Regional Minister, the national spokesman for the Nation of Islam, or the chairman of the new Black Panther Party. He mainstreamed Black consciousness into our everyday lives, reminding us to keep it into our cultural existence. We would see him put the tenets of revolutionary Black nationalism, Black liberation theology, and Pan-Africanism in the mainstream. Hearing his voice in albums like Public Enemy, MC Ren, Ice Cube, even Tupac. If we even look further during that time, during the destruction of these movements, he actually mainstreamed it and brought it back and reminded people of the very tenets that many so loved Malcolm for, and the seeds of Malcolm as well. Groups like the RNA, Black Panther Party, New African Independence Movement. Even when we think of him, he left us with one inspiring quote where he told us what was blackness. He said, "Blackness is a culture consciousness and having a corresponding connection to the cosmos." The sanctuary. This room is dedicated to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he embodies the principles reminding us to be respectful and courteous to all people and demand the same in return. This room and its contents ought to remind us to reflect the kindness and hospitality and the demeanor that was displayed by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. No, we're not a religious organization, so we're not trying to convert you to religion. But as Black liberation theologists, we acknowledge religion as a way of life that instills discipline, good values, and a moral compass to bring balance and harmony to the communities where you live. We've seen that he instructed his members to obey the laws as long as they do not conflict with their freedom, their way of life, their religion. Furthermore, he instructed them to never be the aggressors at any time, but to fight back in self-defense when aggressed upon, and with the will of Almighty God, they'd be successful. Through his way of speech, being calm and carefully listening and waiting to respond back and to carefully speech, it got him friends in all walks of life. We would see him speaking with Martin Luther King, Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, and a list of other people. In this room, it calmly and collectively reminds us to always be respectful and courteous, basement. This room is dedicated to Dr. Mutulu Shakur and Assata Shakur. They embodied the principles, reminding us to be militant, always involved in the war for the hearts and minds of Black people while carrying oneself in an organized and orderly fashion. This gives us a proper view of the militia and being militant. When we see Mutulu and Assata, we see vanguards coming from two different life approaches into organizing. With Mutulu coming out of the Shakur camp from Saladin Shakur, who was a member of the Organization of Afro-American Unity in RAM. Mutulu was also one that was tutored, mentored by Baba Herman Ferguson, another member of RAM. Along with them in the Malcolm X Society, they were co-founders of the PGRNA, who would also later on to organize Malcolm X grassroots movement. And mentor the Panther 21. The other brothers in their clan like Malik, Zaid Shakur, and Lumumba Shakur. We see him even now more so as an icon, a legendary figure in the new African independence movement, being a mentor to many, being a leader to all. In his militancy, he was a highly skilled medic, highly known for doing acupuncture and going to war for street drugs, in which he referred to as low-intensity warfare, and reminded us that there was war on the streets on the people with these drugs and with the impoverished and hostile, stressful lifestyles that they were living. I know the documentary to learn more about him is dope as death. Well, as far as Assata Shakur, she was just a schoolgirl coming up. She liked helping people. She seen the Black Panther Party and was kind of turned off by the dogmatic approach in New York. However, she still was a supporter. She came through the movement, just, liked the ideology, went to a couple rallies, helped sell papers, stopped by the headquarters and seeing what ways she could participate to help. Later on leaving, being in Oakland for school, met some people that were from the headquarters. They asked her why she didn't join, and seeing that she felt there were some problems there, they influenced her to be the one to solve the problems. Upon her meeting Erica Huggins and others, she was greatly influenced. No more just selling papers and supporting the rallies and survival programs. She went back to New York. She joined, becoming a secretary and other things, and being amongst the children and the people of the community. Not braggadocious, not dogmatic, not showing weapons. Just straight up program that aided the people where they were and let them know that there was a war on the civic level and that the people needed to have education and then had to see the demonstration in order to be involved. When we think of her, we think about her assessments that she wrote down in the book of Assata. Again, this is the basement. Be militant. Fourth room, the kitchen. This room is dedicated to Ella Baker, where she reminds us to be humble, willing to release any arrogant attitudes and superior ideas of oneself. Ella Baker is the godmother of the civil rights and Black Power movement. She was a master organizer. She was a mentor to all, organizing and living and moving with the wisdom of Bastet. She used her divine diplomacy to get the big egos of people in organizations like NAACP, CORE, SDS, SELC to come together and be mission-driven. And everyone wanted to be individual in their own limelight. But her experience taught her something while moving towards SNCC and the LCFO. She seen that time and time again, if you make a strong leader, you make weak people. So a famous quote by her was, "Strong people do not need strong leaders." She proved this by aiding and advising the committee called SNCC. The youth groups that came out of this civil rights movement. She reminded them not to be like LCLC, not to become like them, to make it a committee and a communal thing, so that big egos do not clash and drive away the mission and the membership. Furthermore, we've seen this example in LCFO. We've seen this example with the Mississippi Democratic Freedom Organization with Fannie Lou Hamer. Those coming together, a communal thing. Showing fit that strong people don't need strong leaders, because the strong people together, they are the leader. A nice book to give you the insides about it would be Ella Baker and the Black Freedom Movement. This is the fourth room. The gym and fitness room. This fifth room is dedicated to Muhammad Ali, reminding us of the principle to be disciplined, willing to sacrifice your lower personal desires for the greater good of the mission. Muhammad Ali, he lived a life of physical discipline combined with the lifestyle given to him from the NOI that made him an Olympic gold medalist and a heavyweight world champion, as well as a figure for black excellence and human rights. When we seen him, not only did he minister and talk about black upliftment, black upvestment, and equality, but he also talked about discipline. In his field, he says the fight is won or lost far away from the witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, long before the dance was under those lights. In order to get to where he had to go, he knew that there were certain things that he had to cut out of his lifestyle. He knew that there was a certain regiment that he had to give all of his time and all of his study to. So just as he exemplified the physical discipline, we will see that same discipline and strive to embody it, as well as mental discipline. These are the merits which only discipline can bring. These are the 5 community rooms which embody the 5 duties, 5 points of the Panther.